It was a warm Sunday morning in Seattle, and the Anderson family was preparing for the usual family brunch. The kitchen smelled of pancakes, maple syrup, and the faint aroma of freshly brewed coffee. The day had started like any other, until something unexpected happened that would become one of the most unforgettable moments in their lives. Emma Anderson, a 22-year-old college student, had returned home for the weekend. Her mom, Linda, was setting the table, while her dad, Richard, was trying to fix the old radio that never seemed to catch a station properly. Her younger brother, Ethan, was half asleep on the couch, scrolling through his phone. Everything seemed perfectly normal, until an awkward accident turned the peaceful brunch into a moment none of them would ever forget. The beginning of the awkward moment. Emma walked into the kitchen, yawning, holding her mug of coffee. She reached up to grab a plate from the top shelf, and just as she did, the entire stack of dishes slid forward. In a panic, she tried to catch them, but instead, she lost her balance and slipped on the floor, crashing down with the plates tumbling all around her. The loud noise made everyone rush in. Richard dropped his screwdriver, Linda gasped, and Ethan, for the first time in his life, actually looked away from his phone. "Emma, are you okay?" her mom shouted, running over. Emma laughed awkwardly, brushing her hair out of her face. "I'm fine, Mom, just broke half your dishes." But that wasn't the awkward part yet. As she stood up, Richard slipped on one of the broken plate pieces trying to help her, and fell right next to her. Everyone froze for a second. It was such a clumsy, perfectly timed disaster that they all just stood there in shock. Then Ethan burst out laughing. "Dad, that was the slowest fall I've ever seen in my life." Linda tried to help both of them up but accidentally stepped on a syrup bottle that had rolled under the counter. The syrup squirted across the floor, and onto Ethan's phone. Now everyone was yelling, "My phone, Mom, it's sticky," Ethan shouted. "I told you not to bring that to the kitchen," Linda said, trying to grab a towel. Richard and Emma just sat on the floor, covered in syrup, trying not to laugh. It was chaotic, funny, and a total disaster all at once. Cleaning up the mess. After the chaos settled, they started cleaning together. Linda mopped the floor, Ethan wiped syrup off the counter, and Emma tried to pick up the broken dishes carefully. Richard, still holding the radio, looked at everyone and said, "Well, at least we all got our morning workout." That broke the tension. Everyone started laughing, and the awkwardness slowly turned into amusement. It wasn't about the broken dishes anymore, it was about how ridiculous the whole thing had been. Linda said jokingly, "Next time, we're eating cereal. No fancy breakfasts." The family talk. After everything was clean, they finally sat down together. The pancakes were a little cold, but the laughter was warm. Ethan started imitating how his dad fell, moving in slow motion, pretending to slip on syrup. Everyone laughed again. Even Richard couldn't hold back his smile. Emma leaned back in her chair, feeling grateful. For the first time in a long while, the family wasn't arguing or distracted, they were just together. She looked around the table. Her mom's tired but loving face, her dad's patient eyes, and her brother's goofy grin, it reminded her of how much she missed being home. "Maybe accidents aren't always bad," Emma said softly. Linda smiled. "Sometimes they bring families closer." Later that afternoon, Emma and her mom went grocery shopping. They walked through the aisles joking about their morning disaster. "Should we buy plastic plates this time?" Emma asked. Linda laughed. "Tempting, but no, you're banned from touching the dishes for a week." Back home, Richard was fixing the radio again. When Emma walked in, the radio finally came to life, and a cheerful song started playing. Richard looked proud. "See, not everything I touch breaks. Give it time," Ethan teased, walking by. The song filled the house, and for the first time in weeks, it felt alive again. The unexpected surprise. A few days later, Linda had a surprise. She had taken the broken pieces of the dishes Emma broke and turned them into a little mosaic art frame for the kitchen wall. When Emma saw it, she was stunned. "It's a reminder," Linda said, "of that messy morning and how we laughed through it." The mosaic sparkled in the sunlight. Each piece, though once broken, looked beautiful together, just like their family. Months later, Emma returned to college, but that awkward family moment became a story they never stopped telling. During every family gathering, Ethan would start the story with, "Remember the day Dad tried to save Emma but slipped like he was in slow motion?" Everyone would laugh, and even years later, the story remained one of their favorites. Emma often thought about how strange life was, how something so embarrassing, so chaotic, could bring them all closer. She realized families aren't perfect. They argue, they make mistakes, they have clumsy mornings, but those imperfect moments are what make life memorable. The lesson: life's awkward moments aren't meant to embarrass us. Sometimes, they remind us of what truly matters: love, patience, and laughter. No matter how messy things get, family is where you can fall, literally, and still be picked up with love. Emma often smiled thinking about that morning. It wasn't just an accident, it was a moment of connection, something real and unforgettable. And every time she called home, Linda would say with a chuckle, "Be careful with the dishes, okay?" Moral of the story: greater than even the most awkward and unexpected moments can become the most beautiful memories, if you face them with love and laughter.